Hi, welcome to Crafted Sweetly. I'm Diana. Thanks so much for being here. In a recent Facebook post, I mentioned that I would be doing a video in showing how to use dies to decorate the cover of the book. And I purchased some dies recently. I do have plenty of other dies, but I thought these might create some interesting designs for the cover of the book. And I picked up a couple of other ones. I'll probably end up doing some other designs using these. This is actually a set of two. Where you can, these are meant obviously, you can use for cards, but I thought, something like this may be interesting to use in a book, on a cover. So I'll probably do some designs with these and then post them in my Facebook group. But for this video, I'm going to use this set of leaves. Now the dies were sold as a set, so I'll link these below in case you're looking for these particular ones. To cut the cardstock, which I'm using just this green cardstock, you can use, it's leaves, you can leave it as is, but I may end up doing something different in the end. To cut this, I'm using a Gemini Junior, and I have the various plates here. Now you can use the Sizzix die cutting machine, you can use Spellbinder, I can't think of like Anna Griffin, whatever you may have. So it doesn't have to be a Gemini cutting machine, but that's what I'm using, and I can link that as well in case, again, you're looking for the exact supplies that I'm using. And I'm putting this on my cutting machine here on my cutting plates, and it doesn't matter, I'm not trying to line it up on the book, so I'll try and maximize the usage on the paper here for this. And I'm using some painter's tape just to hold this in place so it doesn't shift while I'm cutting it. And looks like this, I'll probably have to go this way. Okay, so I have this down here, and then I have my sandwich is what it's called, to build it so that I can run it through the Gemini machine. So I'll run this through. It's a little noisy, so I'll just turn off the camera for a second. Okay, this I ran through the machine here, and now I have my cuts. You can see right here. So let me remove take this tape off here first. And some of these will be separate for additional embellishments. This is the first time I'm cutting out using this die cut here, so we'll see how it turns out. So as you can see, this here is actually a separate piece from the rest of it, because these aren't cutting out, they're just kind of holding them together. So you can cut the individual little tiny leaves out. Very delicate. Now you could cut this on run this through a Xyron machine first so that you get sticky backing, and then you don't have to apply glue anymore. This kind of becomes like a sticker. This is a pretty cool set here because it has the additional little leaves that you can embellish with. One more. And I think I'll probably run this through one more time just so I have additional vines. Once you have the die cuts completed and picked out of your cardstock, then you can arrange them on your book however you would like. Again, these are separate little pieces that you can add whatever you feel like you need to add additional accents. But I took the two main ones. These are two of the long ones. I think that looks good, and then one can go up this way and one right there. So now the rest of them I'll just fill in along the way here. So now to glue these down, I'm going to use art glitter glue. This is has a fine tip here, so that's what I'll use to glue this down. Again, if you have a Xyron machine, you can use that and run the cardstock through first before applying on here, that way, before cutting it, so that it's easy to apply because it's already sticky. And if you find that one of the leaves, you didn't have quite enough glue, you can lift it a little bit, and since it had just a tiny bit of glue, you'll know exactly where that leaf goes down, and then you can add just a little more glue if needed. Okay, so now this will give you texture to your book. Maybe it's hard to tell, but it's, obviously because I applied it, it has a little more dimension to it than just adding a napkin, which is completely flat. But that's certainly another option. Now, one other idea with this is, if you do something like this, is that you can add the cardstock in the same color as the book, so then it's more subtle. So black and black, just giving it basically a dimensional look to it versus the green standing out more. And then one other thing you can do is, once this is applied, you can color it, color the whole thing with a different color. So lots of options once you apply the design to it, whether you do the same color, a contrasting color, or then go back on painting it so that it kind of blends in even more than just black on black. It's actually kind of the same shade, everything. And you can do the same thing on the spine here. You could, I don't have more, but you could take more leaves and add that on top as well to kind of cover the writing. So this doesn't have to be just on the front. You can do it on the spine as well as on the back. And depending on what the design is, like for example, with this, which kind of cuts little windows out, this is a smaller die. You could do it just in the center. You could do two of these, so one on the top and then one on the bottom. And this cuts out, you can cut out different colored strips with this particular design. And then using this die, you could cut out the rectangle, and that would go perfectly well over the edge here to cover this area. So lots of things you can do with dies to accent the cover once, for the book. Now you could do this before or after you do the book. I probably would recommend doing it before, just because once the book is completed, generally it's more open like this. Well, maybe not quite as much, but your book is going to be more open because you've obviously applied all the strips to the front, so it's no longer sitting flat. So depending on how delicate this is, I would probably recommend doing the design work beforehand, and then when you're working on the book, just basically being careful about it so that you don't, rip any of this off. But it's pretty cool, kind of adding this to it. Now let me add, this is kind of bugging me a little bit here. I'm adding a little bit of glue here because this is sticking up just enough. Let's see if I can get some underneath. Okay. So I got some right underneath. There was a little piece that was sticking up just enough that I could kind of see a shadow build underneath. And using this die, I cut it out using two different cardstocks, and then I combined the two different shades to create this. So, you can do another one, same exact thing, maybe opposite colors up here for it, but this kind of fit because this particular book has this emblem in the middle, so it wouldn't quite work to do another one up here. But you can always try and figure out what other dies you can use to incorporate and then do the designs there. And for this one, it's easy to just add this up here, and have just to kind of tie in the designs right there, and then maybe add something at the top. So you can use whatever you use on the front, try and incorporate on the spine as well. Okay, so that's another design idea. So hope this gives you another idea of what you can do with covers. I know sometimes people are looking for, you know, what can I do with the cover once I'm done with the book? Again, try and do this beforehand, and then just being careful while you're folding so you don't damage it. But using dies is certainly an option to decorate the cover on the front and, you know, like I said, on the spine and the back. So let's see what you come up with using dies. I would love to see your design work. Any kind of die works. You can do patterns with these. You can do, you know, for example, I have another die that's a fairy. I cut this out just out of cardstock. So let me put it on the back side of it so you can see what it looks like. But this would be pretty cool to apply to the book if you're doing something with fairies, you know, so you could add this to it in the middle, whatever, you know, makes sense for your design work. So don't overlook the dies if you have them in decorating your books. Hope this inspired you to add some more accents, more dimension, more designs to your book folding. So just kind of think outside the box. What else can I use for my book folding? Thanks so much for watching. Comment below if you have any questions. Join my Facebook group as usual. And of course, if you're creating patterns for the front, don't forget my app, photobookart.com, so you can create your own designs for the front of it. And then, you know, you can tie this in with your front. Again, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.